Here we go.
And we are live. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, mine's repeating myself.
Yeah, you want to turn your own audio, turn your stream audio off.
Ooh, nice seeing your own face again.
Is indeed.
You've gone still. You're a statue.
Oh no, your signal might have dropped out a bit.
I mean, you's are fine, but not Mike.
Oh,
I'm
Mike.
still here.
Yeah, I
No,
can
I'm here.
guarantee Mike's still here.
I'm rocking,
Yep.
literally.
So we're here with Mike and sorry, what's your name again?
Liam.
From Scarred by Truth.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
So,
how's everyone?
Yeah, I'm good. So
Yeah,
tell us a bit about Scarred by Truth. I want to know all about you because I have blindfoldly come into this.
That's all right. It's the best way. Liam, do you wanna say something, or shall I?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you've, I guess you're the main creator of the band, I guess, so maybe it'd be fitting if you did, you know.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, we started the band. I'm saying we. It was Deej, who's the vocalist and one of the main songwriters, and myself, just a little bit before COVID. And our idea was to kind of involve as many musicians in the Northeast as we possibly could. And that's why we kind of we still call ourselves a collective rather than a band, because we're open to work with absolutely anybody and everybody in kind of the same way that, I don't know, musical DJs do, like Calvin Harris and that. I know it sounds daft, but I thought, well, why can't bands work together and make music together and kind of share that joy with everybody? So that's why we started off initially as a collective, and then just like every other band like yourselves, COVID hit, and just as we were about to gain traction, we got stumped, you know. So really, Scar by Truth is just a band that wants to write its own music and not fit any pigeonhole, any genres. And that's basically us in a nutshell.
No, that's great. I love the fact that you're kind of not pigeonholing yourself. I mean, because we're kind of the same. And yeah, you're right about the fucking lockdown thing. That was a nightmare.
Yep.
Yeah, horrendous for loads of people.
We went through loads of band members. And it was like at the point where it felt like I was kind of holding up Camille at some points, going, "Come on, it'll be okay."
Everything will be all right in the end.
We have different category of ex-members. Yeah, it's like a 2 weeks member, one rehearsal member, like a couple months member. You know, God, yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky. I made
we
it
all
to
have
2
difficult
shows.
exes.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be no dirty laundry aired on this show just yet.
Oh no, you can. I don't mind about that.
Jim, it's not about you. It's about our guests here. It's not about you.
Yeah, I know.
No, but it's about our mutual bands. I mean, for me, I mean, I think I stumbled upon you guys probably about 2020, so during the lockdown, certainly 2021 when I was presenting radio, and like you said, like us, your music's quite a mixed bag. Some of it's really heavy, some of it's very light and melodic, and I love that. And I bought your EPs off Bandcamp more or less straight away, and just played you when I could without oversaturating.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think we are just two very similar but different bands that just don't want to conform to what everybody else is doing. We have our heroes, obviously, in our favorite bands, but I don't want to copy them. I think you guys are probably the same. You just want to take the best of what they do and make it your own and make your own music.
Who would you consider to be your heroes?
Ooh, Liam, you go first.
I mean, certainly Corey Taylor. I think he's kind of up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, for you, yeah, I'd say for you at least. I'm not sure about Darren, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say for you certainly Corey Taylor.
Mhm.
Not even just in terms of the vocals, but more just how he does things more than anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, such an
Yeah,
amazing vocalist.
yeah. I mean, I think he's one of these musical philanthropists. Is that the right kind of word to say? Am I just changing the wrong thing? He sings, he plays guitar, he plays keyboards, he can arrange stuff. He's got such a diverse musical style. I just think Corey Taylor's just somebody who just loves music, works hard, and delivers. So he's definitely my hero. I mean, I like Slipknot. I prefer Stone Sour. I like again like our bands. I like the fact that they can be so heavy in one song and then just have, I don't want to say commercial hits, but they can have almost poppy rock songs.
I mean,
Still
you
sounds
can
like
say
they're
that
instead of
about
that
Slipknot.
diabolical country and western song
Oh.
that they have on Hedra Grad.
Yeah, the
Commercial-
latest Slipknot, I think, was a very Stone Sour approach as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think
I
they've
mean,
kind of started
the
to
last two
meld it.
albums have been, yeah.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, I personally don't think it's that much of a hot take to say that Slipknot particularly have a bit more of a pop side of things, especially to the choruses, because a lot of those are they're deliberately very melodic, very sort of chant worthy, very memorable. So it's not
Catchy.
that. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
That's me trying to overcomplicate things. And there's Dan, catchy, nails it.
Well,
Boom. Done.
I think if a song's chorus isn't catchy, and I mean that's the one piece that gets repeated so much in every song. If it's not catchy, and it's not going to stick in somebody's head,
Exactly.
and you don't want to sing it or hum it, then your chorus has failed.
Yeah, you got to have that
For a
hook.
start. Yeah.
If you don't have that,
I think, like with us, that was something we realised after our first EP, that there was nothing catchy in any of it. so people weren't buying it. Well, for me, I was like, "Where's the chorus?" Because I was showing the demos, and it was like, Camille would be like, "There's only one," or "What do you mean? There's only one?" so
Yeah.
it's like the most catchy part of the song.
I think that just comes from. I think that just comes from like the different ethos of like the styles of music that we all listen to. Whereas like me, I'm more of a power metal person. So if it hasn't got a chorus, it's kind of completely failed as a song. You're right there.
No polyphia then.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll give you that one.
I love guitar-based music.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like I just love playing guitar. Really, I don't actually like singing at all.
No,
Which
you
is
never
weird.
started out as a vocalist, did you? You were always
No.
a guitarist.
Yeah, that's right. So it's always very strange, like when people tell me, "You need to be the front man." Do I?
Who, me?
Okay.
Oh.
Right then.
But how do you cope with a live sort of environment? Do you get nervous and does it make you feel uncomfortable playing to no one? Because I've been there.
I don't. No, I don't get nervous. I get that kind of, you get that little buzz before you go on stage.
Yeah.
I think, where you just kind of, you get excited, but it's not like you're just worried. Or I certainly don't. I mean, I just love it. I just love being on stage.
Yeah, I enjoy playing to
No,
people.
there's nothing that scares me about it. I just like to do it. More the anticipation of getting on.
Yeah, it's a buzz. I just find when you play to a live crowd, it's just phenomenal, especially if they're going mental.
Yes.
Like,
Do you have any sort of
feed off it.
Do you have any sort of routines that you do before you go on? Like things to psych yourself up, to get yourself in the mood, or?
But Liam, you can answer this one first before I do. I'll get laughed at mine.
I don't think I have a routine or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I don't. Nah, nothing like that. I'm kind of with Mike on that.
You like to twiddle on your guitar before you go on, don't you?
You just get up and go for it. I mean, obviously, yeah.
Oh yeah. But that's about it. Yeah, I prefer to like maybe play 10 minutes before I go on, but that's about it, I think.
You do a lot of shredding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of my main duties in the band, actually. I mean, we're a 2-guitar band. So we've got myself, and then we've got Jack, who does mostly, I think, rhythm guitar. At the moment, he does anyway. But yeah, he's the newest member, and I've been in since about 2021 or something.
2021, you came in, yeah. It's right in the middle of COVID, because we'd recorded our first EP, and it was just after we'd done the second single, because we kind of, obviously we were all locked down, and there was only Deej, the vocalist, and myself who were core members, and it was a case of like, I wanted to get Liam in the band, but he wasn't quite available and couldn't do any remote recording. So I contacted a guy called Chris Taylor, who used to be in Warfare, and he did the solo and some rhythm work on our second single. But then as soon as we could, we got Liam in, and it was like the best decision we could have made, I think, because he brings a really good element, which is called actual technical skill, to the band.
We've needed some of that recently, and fortunately, we now have it.
Yeah.
So would you say that bringing Liam in has changed some of the way that you write some new songs, or like has his technical ability changed? Like
your writing process?
Yes.
Liam, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so, because obviously I think for a heavy, like, because I think for like, I mean, obviously it's kind of like, I think for me it's brought like, I've got quite a sort of I guess a classic metal edge in my playing anyway, and then when I bring that to ska, which has got more of a modern sound, it like works, you know what I mean? So I think it's I don't know. I think I bring a good stage presence. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do. He's always whipping his hair back and forth.
Yeah, I hide behind it most of the time. Like, you know, if I can't face the plebs, you know.
You can't call your audience that.
I mean, I have a good thing to hide me from the plebs. It's called oh bloody hell, cable slack. It's called that bloody thing. Hides me from people quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, this is the bad thing is if the vocalist or anything says something embarrassing, you get that what I call secondhand cringe, and that's almost worse. I don't like being stood there whenever he says something that's just like, oh, I don't like it.
That's something I've always struggled with, is like knowing what to say on the sort of spur of the moment. So my focus is
Brad would made me laugh.
Me and Mike, I think of Mike particularly. You always sit to piss out at Darren, don't you? You always sit and good evening, we're Scott by True.
What are you saying about Brad?
No, I mean that goes back to what we were saying before about Corey Taylor. I mean, all of his
patterns you're concerned with, isn't it?
Well, no, because I hate patter. I hate people bantering on between songs, because I was in a band that was like that and trying to make jokes, and it just looks stupid, where really people just want to know that they've come to see a band that are tight as fuck, that are happy to play their music and have a message, you know. But it doesn't have to be a 18-page front and back essay.
So it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be some witty anecdote.
No,
you just you want people to know your. You want them to know your character as such, don't you? As well, though. But you can say too much, I think, and we've tried to kind of join everything together with minimal noise in between songs. You know, just link them up as close and away from that opportunity for me to speak as possible, because I will talk and I will say what the fuck I feel like.
I mean, we've been scolded in rehearsals. We've been scolded in rehearsals for like, there was too much space between the songs. It's like, I hit play immediately. Yeah, you need to hit play sooner.
Yeah,
As you're finishing.
We do everything off of a drum pad to a laptop, so we got all the backing tracks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a new thing.
So for all like the extra, like kind of extra, sort of extra stuff that you have on your tracks and whatnot.
Well, we can't find a decent second guitarist, so we've got all the second guitar parts, the rhythm parts, on the backing tracks now.
That and keyboard stuff.
Keyboards and some backing vocals as well, but not too much for those.
Yeah, some of bass as well.
Okay, quick.
There is no bass.
Quickly though,
there is no bass on those backing tracks. Take that
Oh,
back,
not Motley Crue.
Sorry, Liam. Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, that's got to get complicated quickly though, mustn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does get complicated rather quickly.
Understatement of the year. Like, seriously. Camille can tell you more about that. He's the genius behind the...
We've made no changes to the project. We opened the project another day, and it's just something's changed. What's changed? Nothing. Clearly, something has changed, but we don't know what.
No, because I was using different device to connect the DTX with a laptop. That's why, Basically, everything is all the tracks are put it in one project, which contains like a 45 minutes of music.
Yep.
And the tracks are, I re-record them in a correct tune. I just add right effects on it. Most of them it's just VST, nothing else, and it's from other projects I just copy and paste some of the effects, some of the parts of the vocals, and on the top of that I just add some comments so James can control everything from the drummer position using that DTX. So one part is stop play, other two is going forward and backward with the markers, and that's it. And we could just jump between the songs. However, we have a same list all the time, so we're not changing a lot so far. But that's going to change probably in the future. So it's really easy, It's just all the information what I get is that was from YouTube, So.
So
sorry guys, I'm gonna have to like leave the server and then come back on because two of yous are still, including Mike, and one's on a spinning wheel of doom.
Oh, okay. I will say from our side, your connection is perfectly fine. Your video feed is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, so, like you two are fine, but then there's the other three that are not.
Well, as long as you can hear us, that's all that matters.
I can hear you, but it's a bit kind of unnerving because you're just. I don't know how to put it, but Mike, you're just still there with just you're quite imposing.
We can give you a few seconds to leave and come back.
Yeah, jump off and
feel free.
Yeah, give us a moment.
Yeah, and I'll just talk about you while you're not here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
My next thing was seeing as Camille went on a bit of a runaway of how we run our set, showing all of our trade secrets. How
it's nothing new.
So how does Scarred by Truth, how do you lot approach a live show? Do you
what? Go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, how do you have a particular thought process behind structuring it, or
in regards to booking and?
No, as in like the actual performance. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. Oh, the structure of the performance.
I think. Okay, that's a good question. I mean, most of the time, the set list, I just decide what we're gonna play on the night. Sometimes we've got some really heavy we've got really heavy songs, and we've got some quite lighter songs. And sometimes if we've got a shorter set, so we're only doing 30 minutes, we'll cut some of the songs out, and I'll look around the crowd, and I'll be kind of judging as to whether they like the heavy stuff or whether they like the light stuff. And if I think they're going to like the lighter stuff, I'll be like, well, let's just not do these songs
Tone it
on
down.
the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the most part, it's a quick just assembling the set list, and at the moment we're playing pretty much everything live except for a couple of songs which have got introductions and one song that's got an outro. But we are looking into doing what you guys are doing, which is probably running some backing tracks and tempos through Logic, and then being able to put lights on and run DMX through it, and just basically have our whole entire show there. And then we can also add video down the line. So if anywhere does have a projector behind us, or if we get ones for the side, that's something we're going to look into the future. But then I always worry is that does that then limit you as a band to react if something goes wrong, or if you have that magical crowd moment and they're all getting into it and you want to extend a part of a song and you can't because you just set in stone.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
We've we've had things like that where we want to maybe change the order of the set, or maybe something's not gone according to plan and you got to put a little bit of break in there somewhere. And with backing tracks, it's a little bit more difficult, but
yeah, you have to rehearse it quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all doable. If you wanted to, you could, like, between songs extend loops and things like that. But yeah, it's pretty limited. And you know, for me, I was dead against it in the beginning. You know, that's why, like, we've only just started doing it. I like the feeling of a live band and real players and you know, all that kind of, you know, the old fashioned way.
Yeah, we did try that, but yeah, it just wasn't quite there,
But now
unfortunately.
it's just, I mean, it's taken us to the next level, really. Our performance,
I would absolutely recommend giving it a go.
is so tight. You know, well, I say so tight, I mean, you know, like much tighter. And you know, just gives the impression that we know what we're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, my only worry about that is, I mean, I've seen some bands, and I'll not name them because I went right off them, but I'll give them quick signs. that particular band, there was times where you could hear the music playing, and not one of them. Well, certainly there was times when the bass player wasn't playing along to what you could hear, and I was
Sacrilege.
like, yeah, but
we've seen that in a band as well, with the bassist was a female, and she stopped playing.
Really?
Really hot female.
I mean, is that relevant, or
that's the key point. That
we remembered it though.
I mean, you remembered, but is it for the right reasons? Is it like the fact that they're unrehearsed, or the fact that
like for me, like just having recorded bass and not playing the actual instrument, that's like sacrilege. Like no.
That's all coming up in the Motley Crue thing now, isn't it? That Nikki Sixx doesn't play live.
I mean,
a lot of bands where the vocals are on a tape as well. Like a lot of the lead vocals are on a tape, and it gets. I think once you start doing that, it gets pretty questionable.
Yeah.
I mean, in the case of Motley Crue, I'd say it's pretty much needed because I mean, if I had problems breathing on stage,
I think anything with the word lead in it, you know, like lead guitar, if that suddenly came out on the backing tracks, I'd be like,
I'd feel scammed.
Yeah, of course. Like if anything, we have the opposite issue. Like the backing tracks haven't always cut through, depending on like the quality of the sound engineer. So
that's like this one in Northampton we did on Saturday.
That was mainly asked for.
They kept it in the background, and it was still amazing.
Oh yeah. Like
I never expected it.
I've listened back to some of the recordings, and they're quite good quality. Like it was fun.
So, what do you guys do for your backing track? Do you run like your standard wedges, or have you got in-ears?
So I do in-ears. Camille does in-ears. Jim does in-ears so as he can hear himself because he uses that for monitoring as well.
Not on the last show he didn't use his earphones.
It depends on
the in-ears, doesn't he, Mike? We don't use in-ears. I think does John use them as well?
Yeah, John does. I mean, I bought a whole in-ear system to use to do the kind of the sort of things that you were talking about, because I'm also in an industrial band called Duratory. Just have to get a plug in there. And we obviously do a lot of the Gothic scene, and Gothics is all PA. So Gothic and industrial is all PA, no backlight. and it's backing tracks as well. So it's everything except for the guitar and the bass and the vocals is there. And if you lose that backing track, you are screwed.
Yeah.
Absolutely screwed. So when you're on key, it's like you said, with the tempo you're on. But if you go off because you can't hear, because the sound man's not boosting it up in there, can't get it up in the monitors, you're knackered.
It's a bit of a strange thought in a way. I mean, they always say like backing tracks kind of cover up bad playing and everything, but I kind of think in a strange way it's the opposite. It kind of exposes you, and it makes you more exposed in a strange way.
It can do, especially if you're not timed with it very well, because you go out of time and like it sounds horrendous because you're playing completely different.
You can't go one way or the other with it. There's no flexibility, and like I think that's a sacrifice you probably make with it. So you're really technical and really precise, but you've got no live flexibility.
100%.
And you've got no room for mistakes.
Liam does a lot of busking as well, don't you? So you play a lot of backing tracks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm used to playing the backing tracks anyway, but it's I think that's one thing doing it on the street, but doing it live, I've never done it live. I've never used backing tracks for bands live. So it's something that it would. I think we need to practice a lot more with that. You know, if we're going to do it.
It's been a first for us as well, like all of us.
Yeah,
but it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, but it goes quite well, you know. I mean, like we have like two different background. Yeah, one is which is going on the front of the house, and the other which we receive in our earphones. Yeah,
for monitoring
so
purposes.
we make like special comments when when you actually started the song, like counting. You have click all the time, you know, which it's not going on the front, obviously. And there's if there is some kind of section when they needed to be like sorted in a special way, James adds some comments like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know when we started. So you can put anything you like, which actually help you achieve that, you know, best quality performance. You know, so. I think
anyway,
it's
can we stop talking about
that?
Because you know, like obviously the audience don't give a shit as long as they hear the music.
The inner details of getting the performance done. They care about the performance that they hear.
So what I want to know is, what music are you releasing at the minute? Then have you got albums out or singles out, EPs out? What's your
working on anything?
We are working on it. We've put out a new single which has just gone out on UK Thrashers Moshing the Roof on Volume 4, which you guys
I saw that
next year. So we've got a new single called Shadows, which unlike all the other songs which were wrote between myself and Deej, the vocalist, John, our drummers, actually wrote this song. So it's a bit different. We've done it we recorded it in a different way than we have. Mostly because all the other stuff was done during lockdown. You couldn't go to the studio, so everything was done more or less in my house or ping-ponged between people at home. So, yeah, it's a bit of a departure. And, like, what I want to do is I want to get either an EP, an extended EP out, either by the end of the summer or just go full guns into an album. Because we've got about 16, 17 songs that we've wrote over the last three and a bit years.
Yeah.
That we just haven't got around to actually getting down. So it's a case of.
And the thing is, the thing as well, in terms, because obviously with Scarred, there's been like a few. We've had a rhythm guitar change, haven't we? And then me and Jack are basically the newest addition to the band, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So all the Scarred releases are actually with an older lineup. They're not with the current lineup. So it'd be nice to have like a sort of an updated, you know, just hearing Scarred in all of its glory now rather than hearing it what it was like 2-3 years ago.
I mean, our first EP, the Blind My Eyes EP, we've got 3 guest lead guitarists on it because neither Deej or myself can play lead guitar. I mean, I can't even play bass that well, to be honest. But we had 3 lead guitarists. We had some guest vocals on it. And then, like you say, it all kind of settled in. So, yeah, I'd love to get in as the current 5-piece now because we've got obviously Liam's on lead. John's our drummer. We've got Jack, which Liam mentioned, who's like our newest member, but he's he's a little juggernaut, you know. He loves all these kind of death metal stuff. You
I
coined that
absolutely
phrase.
love that word.
He loves like all the death and tech metal stuff. So he brings a different edge to what Liam does, and they both like scholars of music. You know, they both got their degrees from university in music.
We're on the same. We're actually on the same. We went to the same university, and we were on the same degree as well.
Oh, so that's how you met?
I didn't know him. I didn't know him then, actually. Oh, shit.
No, I mean,
connection problems.
Jack came to us in kind of the freakiest way. I'm saying the freakiest way. It's not really that at all. We had to part ways with our rhythm guitarist who had to leave for personal reasons, and I put an advert out, and within 2 hours, I got a response from Jack. And we got chatting away, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of like this guy, and found out that we lived in the same town. So we arranged to do a rehearsal. And literally, as I was picking him up, I drove out to my street, turned left, and he lives in the next street to me. And we didn't even know.
Oh my God.
So I was like, bloody hell, man, that was fate. So yeah, he just lives around the corner, which is great.
Jakarta?
Yeah, he doesn't drive, I do.
Yeah.
I'm the old man of the band.
Did you give him a lift on that day?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, because I
asked him like to recognise him.
Yeah, he said to me, he's like, "Oh, I live by the college, and the college is about 5-minute drive from us." And I mean, I suppose technically I live that close, so I was expecting him to be about 5 minutes away, maybe to the other side of town, not on the other side of the street, really.
That's mad.
So yeah, so it's crazy. So yeah, he just fit right in. He had his first gig with us probably about a month later or something after joining, and yeah, he's fitting brilliantly. He's getting more confident. I mean, we're his first band as well, so
really?
yeah. So there's always been that kind of worry. I mean, he obviously did performances while he was at university, but he's 22, first band, and I've seen him just go from confidence each and every gig, which you do, don't you? The more that you play, the more you kind of perfecting your craft, the better you get. And I mean, he's gone from kind of being that kind of, I'm not going to say stagnant, but he was like rooted in the sport. His head was always going, head banging, looking at his guitar. So like the last gig we did about 2 weeks ago to actually kind of start moving about, and I'm like, yeah, go
started
Jackie
to
boy,
properly relax and get
to
into it a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always say to people, you're Zach Wild. When you get up on that stage, you're Zach Wild, man. You know, because he gets awesome on stage, doesn't he?
An interesting question to follow that up is, like, with the age gap, how do you find that? Because like this is a question we've spoken about as well.
Annoying, because I'm too old for it.
That's exactly what you said, Tim.
Yeah, no, I'd rather be 22.
Yeah, because I suggested maybe a younger guitarist, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm not sure Scatter is too big," but like that's why I was intrigued to how you find that. Like, have you done any gigs like quite far away since he's joined the band, or any traveling? Like,
no, not yet. I mean, that's a bugbear for me, and I think for Liam as well. Is that the problem that we've got is Deej, our singer, he's got a job where he works quite extreme shifts, and so sometimes he doesn't finish till really late at night, like a few weeks. So we have been a little bit trapped in the northeast, I guess, in a way. We've played.
Where you from?
Probably County Durham.
Oh, okay.
County Durham.
Well, Liam lives up in Newcastle. I live in Durham, which is on the County Durham, which is the coastline. So I'm by the beach, and then Deej lives in Middlesbrough. So we are way up north. But I'm happy to travel. I mean, I've had to work out that we've got 11 available dates where we could go out of the area for the rest of the year. So I'm looking to fill them. So if anyone's got any dates, give us a shout.
Do you fancy a trip to Norwich?
Yeah. But I mean, in the same respect, I'm looking forward to getting you guys to come up here to Hartlepool, which isn't that far away from us, on May the 27th. The guys are coming up, so
yeah,
can't wait for that. Cannot wait. But yeah,
you're playing on Friday as well, aren't you, in Hartlepool?
We are playing, yes. So it's the first night that I've actually arranged at this new venue. It's a great place called Spotlight Venue, and it has rehearsal and music learning space called the Music Spot attached to it. So
Oh,
when you guys
fantastic.
come up, you will have your own. I wouldn't say dressing room. You'll have your own rehearsal space / dressing room. So
Really?
you can go and you can be Metallica and warm up there and do everything you want. But obviously, I know
That'd
you're
be a
going to be
first.
mixing the band because that's what you need to do. But yeah, I mean, we had a band called Chaos 8 there on Saturday night. They're a bit more punky, industrial punk. But Becky, the singer, her husband's in the UK subs, and he came along and said, "I love the venue, absolutely love it." So hopefully we might get UK subs if they
Yeah, I think
even
we're
though they're
all
winding
equally buzzing.
down. But yeah, but it's a great little venue. I just hope, like I suppose, like every venue that we can get people to come out, get them out of the houses, get them off the internet, because as much
We
as it's a
say that.
great
I
thing,
feel personally attacked.
yeah.
That's like we get them off the internet, but what do we want you to do? Come watch us. Come watch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the culture has to change at some point. I agree.
Yeah,
And
you got to support
I
grassroots.
think to a certain level, I think it is. You know, from like playing shows now outside of Norwich and seeing that there is a crowd there
Absolutely.
Yeah.
after so many years is, you know, me and Camille have kind of had various different members over the years and played to just the bar staff for a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah,
I
had that
think it's
happen.
amazing now. Like every time we go out and play, there seems to be people there watching. It's great. So,
hmm
you
Yeah, I
know,
Do you
mean,
get
I've
a
only
little?
played
don't be
3 shows.
disheartened and get out there is
Yeah.
all I can say
Oh
to
no,
any
exactly.
band.
Do you guys get a little buzz if you see someone in the audience that's got a piece of your merch on?
I haven't seen that yet.
Not yet. We either
I think if we got some hats made.
Yeah, if we got some merch, that'd be all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
work
No,
on it.
it's nice. It is nice.
we haven't
Yeah.
played enough of the same venues to go back to for the chance of people to be wearing our merch the next time round.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still
So
generating
with more
that
gigs,
sort
that
of
will come.
following.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
So I
only
mean,
started to
you
get back
guys,
into it this year,
yeah,
really.
you guys seem to have stepped up from obviously from my side. I see that you kind of like you stepped up. You know, you're going into bigger stages. And I mean, obviously putting the whole Hammerfest debacle aside, I mean, I noticed obviously you're still kind of getting on HRH's radar and other festivals. Has that been a long time coming, or?
Yeah, it has, and that was really hard to kind of turn that one down, really, because for me anyway, it's like I've been building up to that all my, you know, all the Hedra's span of what? How many years? 8 years.
Yeah.
Been
We
waiting,
put a lot of
waiting to
work
get on
into
that.
getting ready.
getting a festival appearance and then having to show some solidarity for some people who'd been screwed out of refunds.
Yeah,
And
so
other
yeah,
bands
I
as
mean,
well.
it was well worth it for that, you know, because I'm
Yeah.
fed up. I've been fed up for a long time with the way like people treat music, and I'm a bit of a bitter old bastard. Really. I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah.
For
You
those
are the
of
victim
for
now
those of
to
you
a
out there
mortal.
that don't know,
You do now.
Oh, it didn't play.
Oh,
the drum hit. Oh, that's like you
You
know,
love
on
me,
the
Jim.
X Factor, you get the golden glitter. I got the drum roll. But I mean, what do you think about the music scene then, Mike? Are you happy with it? Do you
All
think
right.
it's going? Yeah.
no, I don't know.
No.
I'll be honest. I'm not no because I see a lot
I'll come
of.
back.
Oh, sorry, my
I
phone.
mean,
My phone.
don't get me wrong. I've not been affected by it myself, but I think there's too much gatekeeping going around at the moment. Too
Yes.
many
Too much
people
what?
who are like gatekeeping, so kind
Oh
of
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
protect the scene.
I've walked into the conversation about gatekeeping now.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping,
All the
yes,
best.
and
We're getting serious.
What you want?
I'm sorry, you weren't here from the beginning. You can't join in the gatekeeping conversation.
yeah.
Okay.
Mute him, cut him off.
Ironic jokes. I'm full of them.
Yeah. No, so Liam, we were just talking about the state of the music scene and things like that. Well, not the state of it, but just sort of saying that I just find a lot of people, I feel like they've got control of the music scene, and I just think that's such a negative and bad thing. Um, I mean, there's companies out there that I'm perceiving, and again, like I say, it's not affected us in any way, shape, or form. It's just my opinion that it seems that there are companies that are charging bands to be on their books that aren't delivering all the gigs that they promise, or if they are, they're just these little circulars that they're all playing all the same bands, playing the same venues all the time, and I don't know. I think it's hard. It's like I've not really been active in promoting or being looking for gigs as hard as I should have, but I spent all of Friday trying to find some venues for another band and making contacts with people, and that was quite difficult to get information out of certain people. When you do, you can easily reach these promoters, and they're just so good to talk to. But there are people in the way that are kind of stopping you, and it's either because they don't want you to play or they want something from you so you can play.
They can
And I think that's
monetize it.
wrong.
Do you find that people? Do you find that it's more difficult to get shows because you're not local and like travel arrangements could cause trouble and then
Local,
like
gi-
what do
local
you feel is
gigs
the
are not
most
really
common?
a problem, are they? I don't think.
No, local gigs are never the problem. I think we're currently finding at the moment that because, like I said earlier, we're hard to pigeonhole. You know, we can't say we're like well for fans of Metallica, but we're not like Metallica. And people have sort of said the Deed sounds a little bit like Bruce Dickinson, for example, but also like Jonathan Davies. And because people can't just kind of go, oh yeah, you're new metal, you're industrial, you're thrash, they don't know where to put us, you know. So I mean, there's a couple of promoters that have gone, oh, I'm just waiting for the right date to showcase you with other bands, and I just think, well, just put us on. You know,
Yeah.
we could blow someone away. I mean, we could really fuck up and put people off us forever. But it's more likely that at least one person will be touched by what
Yeah.
we've done. And yeah, you know, it's just you've got to do it. I mean, back in February, we were on with an Iron Maiden tribute. They were brilliant, but a lot of the people who were there for that event, you could tell were there for the live jukebox. You know, for the covers.
Yeah.
And there was a young band on before us who were like we talking like 13-year-old, 14-year-old, no, 14, 15, 16, I think they were, and they were
Yeah.
great, you know, but they were the local bands. Did they get a great response? I think they got an adequate one. And I mean, I literally had to kind of go like, look, bands have to start somewhere. Even Iron Maiden started somewhere, and it was
Yeah.
then that you could see like people's eyes go, oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
Like,
have to
you don't
bloody
start
tell them
from.
that though.
No.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I
But
remember when I was younger playing shows, it was daunting, it's scary, but like they're
yeah.
doing it. Like
Hmm.
you got to appreciate that.
Well, that's it. That's why my mindset is if anybody wants to do it, I'm going to help you do it because why not? Who am I to stop you? Who's anybody else to stop you? You know, I'm going to help you facilitate your dreams one way or another. Love it. That's why I'm in promotion now. Not very good, but doing it.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Onwards
think
and
it's good
upwards.
that like have like a secondary thing that you do for music because we
Mm.
do the same thing. We booked some bands down here, and ran a record label. We got our Facebook group, the UK Metal Collective, and it just shows that you are genuinely interested in music,
Mm.
and I think the times of just being a band and playing and getting your music out there, they don't tend to count anymore because you've got a million bands doing that, but only a
Yeah.
few showing that they actually care about the whole
Mhm.
scene and give the
Mhm.
young crowds a step up. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I think that's commendable. So
Yeah, it's
well done.
massively
I think
commendable.
that's right, Jim. I think there's like you said, there's thousands of bands. There's bedroom musicians. There's the serious musicians who will go into rehearsal and actually be a band. And then there's guys who I feel like us who are really driven to want to do something with the time they've got or the opportunities that they've got. And it's hard because out of those, let's just say 1,000 bands, there's what, 100 venues? Even out of those 100 venues, if they're only working, say, Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday, it's only 52 nights a year, 104 in total, 3 or 4 bands. It's you do the maths, you can't get those 1,000 bands in
No, you
around the
can't.
country. So it's difficult. It's really difficult at the moment. That's why I think we just need as many opportunities to be able to play and to coax people out.
Yeah, more and more venues are closing, which is making it more difficult as well. So that.
And some of the venues asking you how many people you can bring with you on a gig, and if you're not local, it's quite difficult.
You're kind of screwed.
Well, no one wants to take any like real risk, you know what I mean? Unless you're a live jukebox.
Yeah.
That was going to be part of the thing when it comes to gatekeeping and going on about local bands. Going to ask the inverse of that. Do you think some promoters are scared to put you on if you're from too far away from the venue because you wouldn't pull people with you?
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
I think you still have to have that kind of, I'm going to call it the old school mentality. If you take away the fact that you've got the internet, I mean, like I say, I'm 50, so I did the most of cutting of my teeth in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s in music. You had no internet. If you wanted to go out and promote your band, it was physical flyers, posters, and I'm not proud to say, but I did get my bucket of paste out and paste them onto bridges and everything.
Oh yeah,
anything to let people know that you were playing.
People nowadays,
that's
I think,
what you
would
had to
find
do.
it weird if you handed out flyers to them.
They do.
Yeah,
exactly.
People are used to that.
We tried it.
We tried a thing with business cards. They got QR codes on, and we still got weird looks.
I think people just throw things away.
Yeah.
Right, chaps, I'm going to leave you with Liam a second. I'll be back.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a bit like trying to get someone to buy a CD though as well now. It's like, oh no, don't use them.
But the thing is,
CD player in my car.
if you've got it on Spotify as well, though, it's like you're paying for that subscription, and they could easily just listen to it on Spotify rather than buy the physical copy, because they probably haven't got anything the physical copy will play in.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised. There's quite a crop of people who still have loads of CDs and still have something to play them on.
That's
there's
me.
Lots of people there's lots of people who still have vinyl collections and stuff.
So me.
Yeah.
How much do you price your CDs at?
There's a lot more than you think,
Yeah.
That being said, the only place I can play CDs is in my car. That's the only place I can play them.
Yep.
But I think it's interesting what Squeak said. He said that you pay a subscription on Spotify, and I think people assume that paying for that subscription goes to the band, but it just doesn't. And actually, I've done some research at work and asked them, if the younger crowd, if they are on Spotify, they're like, yeah, I'll pay £10 a month, and do you realise that money doesn't go to the bands, it goes to the actual company? And they're like, no.
Well, Temple, you're using their service, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course it's going to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, you've also got the risk of, like, I buy a lot of physical media because it means that then I own it, and if a band or an artist doesn't chooses to not renew their subscription or their host service with a streaming platform, their music gone. That's it.
Gone.
Yeah.
Is that the way to get more CDs out? Get your following.
Well, I mean, it's a thing that
buy a CD.
Oh god, we've been 5-6 years ago. I remember that it's a thing that Adele did was at was it 25 when that was released? Wasn't available on Spotify, and it drove like loads more CD sales, and she made a lot more out of it because
Swift as well
available. Beg your pardon?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, there's something to be said for that. Just drive them. I think it just gives people like fewer excuses in a way, because it means they have to bloody pay for your music. You
Yep.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Yeah, I
you're big
think
enough and got enough clout to do that, you can take that
Yeah.
risk.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
depends
do
what you
you
want to
guys
do.
do you guys think there's been a big shift away from ownership of material? So, so for example, I mean, I'm just looking now. I used to have a lot of vinyl from the 80s and 90s, and then CDs. But there's a lot of people now who just rely on streaming services, so they don't actually physically own anything. Same as with Netflix. Before, you used to buy your DVDs to watch them. You don't have to now.
Nope.
Do you think people have moved away from this? I need to own something to just casually renting.
Yeah,
I certainly think
myself.
I certainly think there's
Yeah.
been far more of a drive industry side to move towards a
Digital.
pay to rent more than a pay to own thing. You could get
Mhm.
into like all tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. Like if you don't own it, they can take it away and they can keep you tied to a subscription. Ooh,
Yeah, it's like play
no.
music. Because you had the option to upload all of your CDs onto Play Music, and I uploaded loads of old demos of mine and various other bands that I'd met along the way. And then they moved it over to YouTube eventually, didn't they?
Yeah.
And of course, they didn't move over all the tracks that I'd uploaded. They just moved over what they knew existed. So I lost all of my years and years of uploading to play music. Do you know what I mean? And that can
Mhm.
happen in an instant, like I say.
It's harsh.
Yeah, that's very true.
You
Yeah.
still have the physical copies of those?
No,
That's
I was
one thing I've never
I was
really
clearing it
considered.
down, and I got rid of all my tapes and everything.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Which I hadn't done that. So like only recently, probably in the last 4 years, I started getting back into vinyl and collecting that up again. I've got one shelf full on my bookshelf of vinyl again. And it wasn't until I bought the record player that I actually remembered how much I love putting records on. And to the younger generation, it's probably really weird. Like you have to take it out of the packet, sniff it, put it
Mhm.
on the thing, you know.
Sniff it.
But
And then,
for
God
me,
forbid, halfway through, you've got to turn it over.
yeah,
Yeah,
The thing
Yeah,
that
see, that's the thing. I'm just about old enough to remember cassettes. They were kind of
yeah,
Yep.
yes.
only just though. They were a thing probably I think the late '90s, and then probably by the 2000s they were for all intents and purposes gone. But they were mainly limited to usage in cars. But there were terrible things, like they really were. They were just it was kind of like, obviously it was like a mini VHS, you know.
Yep.
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
You know, mini video cassettes, and it was just they were pretty terrible things. Like, you know, the tape would come out and it'd get all caught up, and it was just didn't like
Spiral
it.
out of control. Like,
Oh yeah,
I think I only
yeah.
ever
No,
had.
It's like when I was a lad, you only had the option of listening to vinyl or recording the radio and stuff like that on your cassette.
yeah,
They were
yeah,
great back in the day,
same.
but obviously,
Yeah,
they.
I mean, we're about the same age. Right? I think you're just slightly older than me, but
I
yeah.
feel older than you.
No, you
it's
don't.
only because he's shaved.
Filters and all that.
But yeah, you're right. It's like you know, back in our day, we were like waiting for Radio One rock show so that we could press and hold the record button and the play
Mm-hmm.
together to, you know, hopefully cut off the voice before the song starts, you know,
Yeah.
and then I used to, I don't know about you, but I used to make my own tape inlays as well, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, what, the
fucking
paper bit?
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like I can remember doing that with Def Leppard's Hysteria. I mean, I wish I still had it because it must have looked really bad because it's like felt tip, you know, felt tip.
Bleed
But
through.
yeah,
Did you ever try and copy the logo for the
yeah,
band?
yeah, all the
Nice.
time. I wanted to be a sign writer when so yeah.
This is new information.
Mm.
Well, I was discouraged by
Sharing, scaring.
funny enough, by my old man. He said, "Well, it's all going digital now, so I wouldn't bother trying to do that."
How right he was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. He didn't say that about the music though. I wish he had it on.
There is that.
No. No.
No, I still prefer going in the studio. What about you? or do you like recording at home? Because for me, it's a lonely process.
Yeah.
A bit of both, because I mean, I used to be an engineer in a studio, so I do like that camaraderie, to get in there and be creative and do the ideas. But I also like working from home because you can just, you've got a few things you can put the ideas down, and I mean, it's a good point as well to be able to just send it off and get some feedback on it, but also can take ages when you're trying to mix. So I think I do prefer studios,
Mm.
but I don't
Yeah.
prefer that. I don't prefer the
No,
money to the
No.
studio.
We're kind of terrified of that right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like we're complaining about spending money, but then not complaining, but we we're saying like the technology's changed so much, we don't have to spend the money, and then the
Mhm.
same thing has happened with the music, where people pay for your music that you've created for free. So it's a bit of
Yeah.
a sort of like conflicting thing going on there. But yeah, for
I think
me,
I think for the
I love going in the studio
I do.
yeah.
just for the friendship and the actual feeling like it's a band. Like when you go
Mhm.
in the rehearsal, but you're
Yeah.
putting it down.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
cut off mid
I think
thought.
my ideal scenario would be for um, pre-production to obviously be done in your rehearsal space.
Mm.
The production side, go into the studio, lay down as many ideas as you can, and then post-production, probably at home,
Yeah,
because
that's
you
okay.
you
Yeah.
can bang your ideas down. You can now copy and paste, do different things, throw some things down that you didn't think about on the day, and then even if you want to go back into the studio to do your final mixing, you can do it, or you could just mix from home if you've got a good set of monitors. So
Yeah.
I see
It's
merits
just
in
those
both
little things,
sides.
like specifically with the drummer. I think is like they've
Mm,
got so many different things going on that have different tensions and different, sounds to like Easy Drummer or whatever software you use. That
mhm.
I think that in the drums absolutely have to be in the studio, and then
Yeah.
Mm.
bring up, maybe some VSTs to enhance the kick drum and snare drum. That's it,
Mhm.
because you've got all these things like the way they hit it.
The
Sorry,
nuances.
Yeah.
the way James
Yeah.
hits it, for example, he's quite a heavy hitter, so um, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do that on a VST.
Or the
No, it
overall
doesn't have the
tuning
dynamics.
of the
Exactly.
So it's
kit, or
got your
how
well,
everything resonates
it's
when
just
you.
your personality comes out more, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a live scenario, and it kind of does with the guitar as well. But you can get away with that,
Yeah.
and
No,
same
I
with the
mean,
vocals.
I think there's something to be said about the studio. I mean, John, our drummer, was making the sort of the comparison of, and especially for vocals. I mean, there's nothing better than having your compressor there and then before you've actually recorded. Whereas if you're doing it on, I mean, I use Logic, so let's just say if you're doing it on
Yeah.
Logic, you're kind of using a plugin, and it's just not the same because it's reacting to what you've already done at that point rather than be limiting or compressing the signal that's coming in. So again, yeah, I just think getting to somewhere where you've got all the right equipment,
Mm.
you're going to get the better product.
100%.
Which brings into question. Yes, it's so much easier to do recordings on the cheap, but do you feel like you get that value for money? Do you like the more you spend on production? Do you feel like that's worth it?
Yeah, because I think if you're doing it in a studio, you have a constant loop of feedback, whereas at
Yeah.
home you don't really.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think as well you've got kind of outside forces like kind of like trying to push you just to do a little bit of a better take than you did before. Whereas I don't think you really get that. You're not under pressure. So
Yeah. I found
That's
that
me.
with
I'm
Mel.
always pushing them to do better.
Yeah, I'm that guy as well.
Yeah. Got the scars on my back to prove it.
Yeah. Well, I don't, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's always going to be someone who steps up and becomes that kind of producer part of the band. And there's always someone who kind of is the driver and the dynamic head. and I think in our band that's me. Um, who kind of goes, all right, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. And I mean, I come from a management background anyway in business. So I'm always like, oh, let's try this, try that, try something different. I'd rather have 1,000 ideas and throw like 999 away than be stuck with just one thing that you can't change afterwards. So try everything. That's my motto.
Decent.
Oh, I killed the conversation there.
No, it's just it's a very respectable.
Really
yes, it's a very respectable point. Because if you like, you can have you can't have too many ideas, but if you have too few, you're up a creek. So to be able to take that surplus of ideas and to be able to mold it how you want is a very, very important skill that a lot of musicians simply don't have. I know that I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm horrible when it comes to creating new ideas or arranging stuff, but if I've got that direction, I find I'm way more comfortable.
Yeah, I love the way Camille records his stuff, because he'll just sandwich loads and loads and loads.
He'll just like there and throw loads of ideas at you.
He just throws it all at me, and then I'm wading through like David Bellamy, through the undergrowth, and then let's use that bit of it and not that bit. And I'm throwing bits away and keeping certain bits, and it starts off quite crazy. Like he sent a demo today, and it's like, whoa, there's loads of stuff going on at once here. But then I'll just listen to it and see what's too busy, and because I don't know, I am a guitarist, so I can say this: guitarists don't think about the room that the vocalists need after they've done their little demo parts. And he does say to me, well, I just need some sort of demo idea of the vocals, and then I'll be able to tell you what I can put on it afterwards. I'm like, no, actually, you need to be thinking you're the vocalist and record it as though you're singing the song, and then it will make sense to everybody else. But it hasn't quite worked like that yet.
No.
But I don't mind that, because I can pull apart what he's got, and that for me is the fun part. I love pulling apart Camille's cheeks.
Do you find that the majority of your songwriting process is like so once you've got all of those ideas, just the majority of it is saying, right, this is just a bunch of ideas, let's cut like 3/4 of that off and see what we get? It's like cutting parts away, because I know that with the Hedra side of things, like the majority of our songwriting process is we have a big homunculus of song ideas, just hack it up and remove and see what's left. So like to see what kind of space we can give those individual ideas.
I think more, actually, to be honest. I think it's been more adding to songs that if ideas have come in, I've kind of, I'm not saying it's just me, but I'm only speaking from my perspective here. So if somebody's come in, I've maybe gone, oh, maybe that needs a longer chorus, or maybe there should be a chorus there or a chorus too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that goes back to what we talked about earlier about choruses being the catchy things. Is that sometimes you maybe just need to extend it. And one of the things I always talk to Deej about is the hero vocals, where you can sing your chorus the same as every other time, but then at some point you've got to put that extra energy in and or some harmony or something that's different that the audience is going to sing along to, or somebody will pick up on it and go, wow, the passion in that is great. I mean, I always pick a good example of that sort of song is if you know Papa Roach's Time and Time Again.
Yeah.
I love the way that he sings every chorus differently. And that it goes from this kind of standard pattern to just being this very passionate way he sings it is just amazing.
Yeah,
so I love that song.
It's a good song.
I also quite like it when on the instrumental side of that, when you have say a verse riff, but you've got the key components of that riff, but it changes each time it's played through. Like the second time you get to the verse, there's that little bit of maybe you put a little bit of extra bend just to put some just to put some jazz on it all, or I don't know what sort of do you find yourself doing that instrumentally or as well? Just to differentiate one verse or chorus riff from the next time that same riff comes back round.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've done a lot in our songs, and I don't know whether it's just my kind of bias, but I mean it's Liam who kind of adds that little flourishes that will maybe if we did kind of if you said like a verse was maybe either 4 or 8 lines long, maybe 4 lines would be one way, and then the next 4 lines would be there might be a harmony guitar riff or something that just kind of elevates it and takes you to either your bridge or your chorus.
Liam, do you have any
That's,
comments
I mean,
towards
we've
that
done that
particular
with
approach?
Or on the other hand, sometimes a song just doesn't need anything at all. You know, I think
that can happen.
Yeah. Sometimes I always feel it's like it doesn't really need anything more to it, you know. And I think it's sometimes that's I mean, I've said that I think a few times to you, Mike, haven't I, Mike?
probably, but I've ignored it.
You should not.
I mean, I know that I'm particularly guilty of saying that there's too much going on here. How can we cut back and let things breathe? But
is that on your drums?
Well, I mean, I'm more than prepared to cut back on drums as well if I have to. Like, shock horror.
Yeah, but, I think you're more of a thrash drummer at heart, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. My the first 2 bands I was in were both thrash / hardcore bands. So yeah, that's very much my whole
D beating, heavy hitting.
Yeah, lots of D beating, lots of double bass. I'm more of a but when it comes to stuff that I listen to recreationally, I say I'm much more of a power metal and a prog metal kind of person. So not particularly that thrash. So
Liam, what guitars you got? That's what I want to
know. So I've got 2. I don't use them for SCAD, but I've got 2 PRSs. They're the ones I use the most.
6-string, is it?
Yeah, they're all 6-string. So I use that they're like my main workhorse guitars. For SCAD, I use that. I use that.
Okay.
I use a Schecter 7-string. So
very nice.
And then on the other, and then somewhere on the other side of the room, I've got a Jackson 8-string as well. So we use extended.
Bloody hell, Camille's woke up. Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. The 7-string is like that probably gets the most usage in the band, I would say.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of our songs are in B.
Yeah.
That's the next one from A, isn't it?
Yes.
That's pretty heavy.
It's 2 steps up, Jim.
So it's pretty heavy.
7 strings are really comfortable because it's easy to be really heavy on them, but you can just do loads of stuff, big chords, and there's just lots of options with it, really.
Yeah,
it is.
Lots of good stuff, and you have like 5-octave scales on it and stuff like that. So it's great, love it.
I've got an 8-string, but I find that's a little bit too low and hard to play.
Yeah, I mean, my Jackson I've got is really good. That's an easy instrument to play, but I'm probably not as familiar with 8-string as I am 7. But that's because I haven't played 8 very often, you know. This is the first time I've used it like for a band properly, really. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. We've got one song that uses the 8-string though. So
is that one that we can go and listen to? Or?
Yeah, which song's that?
Bleeds.
Yeah.
Bleeds.
Nice.
Called Bleeds.
Bleeds.
It's got dots in between. So it's B.L.E. So on.
Okay, cool.
Like an acronym.
And the 8-string guitar you tune in a standard as well, yeah?
Yes, that one's in F sharp.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. No, it's
which means I have to tune up.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange.
So what's the is B the more common tuning that you use, or what's like?
Yeah.
Yeah,
B.
I think it is. Yeah, B.
Because I know that
B on a 7-string.
ours is G.
Yeah.
Yeah, drop G. We play. Yeah.
Drop G,
Right.
Really down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So if
That'll
it's
be
drop,
some thick gauges on the strings then.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
guys
it's good.
play mostly? Is it 7 strings or 6 strings or?
Yeah, 7 strings.
yeah,
I
I'm a
stop using 6 strings at all. You know, I mean, like a 7 string is some sort of 6 strings guitar, is just with extra on the top, yeah, isn't it? So,
Mhm.
so yeah, if we need just change tune, I could use 6 string guitar. It's not a problem at all. But I was thinking in a couple of days, last couple of days, to just start using 8 string guitar and tune that
Tune it.
as a 7 string guitar, you know. I mean, like
Yeah.
make a drop on 7 string and keep 8 in a E. So, but
Mhm.
it's like, you know, basically you need a good 8 string guitar with a long neck if you want to achieve that kind of tuning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I myself play
And
on a 5 string as well. So
Liam, what equipment you guys using for gigs like amps and pedal boards? What you guys using?
it's mainly it's Black Star for us. Black Star head. Like I've got a Black Star head here. I might be able to get it into you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, he's got
Right.
the Black Star ID Core TVP
Yeah.
100.
No, it's a very nice sound. Like,
It's incredible.
yeah, it's really good.
Is that digital or is that analog?
Analog.
I think it's mainly digital, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's digital.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I'll
it's
have to
Is it?
check.
definitely
I'll check.
Yeah, it's
I'll
definitely
Google.
digital. You can tell it's analog because usually it can take a bit of a while to warm up. Because
It's
I've got a
due.
Marshall head actually that I got about 2 or 3 years ago. That's a bit like that. Sounds great, but it's probably not. It's like not quite as appropriate for the sound of Scarred. So, but I still use it for other stuff. So.
You just when you need something that little bit warmer, that little bit sort of fuzzier.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Black Stars is a better modern metal sound anyway. Whereas Marshall, I always associate with being a little bit more old fashioned. You know what I mean?
Which isn't a bad thing, but
no, it's not. But I've played
I mean, you've got both, haven't you? So
yeah. I mean, I've spent a long time like playing in like classic metal bands and stuff. Anyway, I mean, I do now. We're playing another one called Millennium. But that being said, I use Black Star for that, so it's, whatever. It doesn't really. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? But it just yeah.
I guess
yeah,
when
we're basically all on Black Star now.
Yeah.
So both guitars are on Black Star, and all my bass is Black Star.
Bass is Black Star as well. Wow.
Yeah, I've got 2 rigs for it. I've got the Unity 500 combo, which is a 210, and a 250-watt extension cab.
Yeah.
But I've also got the 700-watt Unity bass head because the combos are amazing. Don't get me wrong, but they're hard. If that's my sound, it's hard to be slotting a combo in when you got like if you haven't line checked,
You need the
you got to put an
flexibility
entire
with a
combo in.
head.
Yeah.
Do you have an
I
endorsement with them?
I might have. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are endorsed
It's
by Black
coming out
Star.
like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Open
guys want to
endorsed
jump over
by
to Black Star, I'll introduce you.
I mean,
could be worthwhile.
It yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, I've loved being with Black Star officially since October, and I love the way that they are very passionate. Sounds like I'm advertising Black Star, which I am in a way.
Go for it.
They just great, they've been amazing. All the people that I've spoken to have just been super helpful. And it's good to know, obviously, that they are a UK company.
Yeah, I
So,
think I have
we're
heard
just
the
in
same
Northampton, so.
from the lads in Shrapnel. They were saying that they've just recently been to Black Star as well, and they were saying that they've had brilliant support from them, but
Yeah.
not so much.
I mean,
from Jack.
I only have one criticism about them as a bass player.
Oh.
Is that there's more gear for the guitarists than
Yeah,
there is for the bassist.
Yeah,
There
Whereas,
always is,
I
mate.
mean,
There
I mean,
always
you've
is.
got
It's tragic.
I mean, have you heard of Blue Guitar? You've seen their pedals, which are like 100-watt amps.
Yeah.
They're no bigger than sort of that. Well, Blackstar have got three versions of that out for the guitar, but nothing for the bass. I mean, yeah, I know that there's more guitarists, so there's more money.
It's like a floor amplifier, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So
Can I
basically,
be-
for the sake of that sort of size of a pedal, you've got your 100-watt amp in it, so you just need that. You don't even need to carry your head anymore.
Can I be controversial about there being more products for guitarists than
Shoot.
bassists?
Yeah.
They're selling to the market that's got the bigger ego.
Oh God, he's
Yeah. No, you're
And-
right. I mean, it's just that
quite
they've got
sexist
you've
as
got
well,
the
aren't they?
biggest. Yeah. No, you've got more guitar players out there.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a market, sell to it, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think they'll do drum kits?
What, portable? I
I
mean,
don't know. I mean, they're doing Black Star's doing travel guitars. They're not doing it. Well, they're actually
Oh.
doing travel basses as well. But I was like, if you did a 5-string, I'd have it. But I don't know. I think it's just something there where I think every company's going to have to diversify or get lost. You know,
Yeah.
You've got to cover everything.
It's a shame about Marshall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you
I
mean
mean,
in that
I
sense?
don't know Paul Marshall, but from what I've heard from people who do know him, it's that he didn't care as much as his dad did.
Yeah.
You know, and I think also I can't remember what the daughter was called. I think they both just didn't have the same passion as Jim did, and to them it was just, you know, it was something that their name was linked to, and maybe they just wanted to get out of. And I mean, good luck to this Swedish company. I mean, maybe they are going to take the product on to bigger and better things. I mean,
hope so, yeah.
I've had Marshall. I would never have Marshall again. It's my personal opinion. Maybe they'll do something a bit different with it.
Yeah, I think I think it's, for me, it started going down the pan when they brought out the cheaper Park range. I think they should have stuck with what they knew, and the valve state things, they all came in, and they were considered a high-end product that you had to save money for to be able to own one, and then it just went from that to anyone can have one of these, it doesn't matter. It's got this kind of iconic speaker in there that everybody can get wise to eventually, that it all comes from Celestion, and and then everything just died for them for that reason. But yeah, it's a shame. It's another British institution that's just fucked off.
Yeah. Happened with Marshall, it happened with Premiere on the drum side of things.
Not go too far into it because obviously.
Right, just one moment, I'll be back.
Oh.
See? But yeah, I do own a little Marshall. What I was talking about.
Oh, that is tiny.
Oh yeah.
Little car boot sale job.
My one's like, I can't really. It's like it's standing. It's like it's like stood up, so you can't really see it from me. But yeah, it's quite a big thing. Like it's yeah, it's definitely it's got the tubes in it and everything like that. So it's quite old fashioned. Sounds great though. It does sound really good. But yeah, I probably don't use it as much as the Black Star now. Black Star's actually a lot lighter to carry, whereas that Marshall does weigh a ton. Like,
I mean, being digital, they're solid state. You got smaller things that don't get as hot. So
yeah.
I mean, Real up until recently used the Messer dual rectifier, didn't you?
Aye.
Yeah.
I do have a Line 6 Spider combo that's kind of digital and tubes as well. So that has that thing where obviously you leave it to warm up, and it sounds great, but it's a bit too homogenized, you know. You play through, promise you play through it, and like 30 or 40% of your personality just kind of dissipates from it, you know what I mean? And all you're left with is just this pure digital sound. So it was good for what it was though. Loud thing, like.
Yeah, I noticed that with a lot of digital products is suddenly all the character that you had from a real live amp is just compressed.
Yeah,
It's like the compression's already there without even adding any compression. So yeah, it's a bit strange.
Yeah.
Just like it's a bit, I suppose, it's a bit like when you think about vinyl, the the needle into the groove never hits the same place twice. Whereas, and the same with tubes, they never burn at the same rating on every note, and the only thing that you've got as a safe bet now is your speakers, because they're the only thing that's going to be different every single time. But yeah, all the digital stuff is good. It just has exactly the same sine waves, whatever distortion you use. It's sad. I think it's. I mean, it's okay. It means you're going to get a solid sound.
You can rely on
Clear
consistency.
sound. Yeah, you can rely on consistency and all that. But yeah, for me, it's Valve. Love it. I'm old school.
So you're a
Like I
Valve
say,
man.
yeah, definitely.
Nice. I don't think I've ever owned a Valve product, but being a bass player, I think I always went from kind of the solid state electric stuff to digital anyway. So
Yeah.
I've,
I mean,
I've never owned a thing
it's
like
like
that.
what I say. You wouldn't probably notice it until you go back to it. And
Yeah.
the same with vinyl. Like I didn't notice how great it sounds until I went back to it, and it gave me the choice of putting on a CD or a vinyl version. I'll choose the vinyl version. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it could be the whole nostalgia thing. Who knows? I don't know. For me, it just sounds so much bigger.
The whole point of you have to make an occasion to listen to the
Yeah.
vinyl of like you're in that
Yeah.
you're stuck in that room, you've deliberately made yourself a drink, got yourself a beer, whatever, and
Yeah, and the
you've
valve amp's the
devoted
same. You got to
time.
warm it up.
You devoted
Yeah.
time to get that
Got to
enjoyment.
stroke it, buy a drink.
Yeah,
It
and
looks
you're
good.
playing a gig with a
Easy.
valve
We're on
amp, it
Twitch.
could catch fire.
We're not on any of those other platforms where they allow that kind of rubbish.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting chat, and we've gone a bit over the time.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Right.
if that's the case, let's round everything back up then. Where can we expect to see you in the near future? What shows have you got lined up?
Friday. It's this. We've actually got quite a lot this month. So we've got this coming Friday. We've got next week on Thursday in Rotherham.
Yes.
And then there's one the week after, isn't there?
Then we're doing a residency at the heart of the Northeast Trillions. We're doing 2 nights at Trillions in Newcastle.
I love that place.
It's amazing. It's such an amazing venue. Only in so much as we're supporting Corners of Sanctuary, which is a US band who they literally landed, and I think they did about 2 or 3 gigs before COVID hit, and they had to go home back in 2020. So they're coming over to finish their tour. So we're playing with them. We're playing with Sour Tusk and Viral Strain. That's on Wednesday night.
Nice.
And then Thursday we're playing with a band called Open Sight, which is I think they've been described as like a espionage noir metal band. So I'm interested to see what's happening with that. I don't know what the other support is for that one because the band that should have been on, sadly, their drummer is having dental surgery that day and has had to pull out.
Okay.
And then we're playing
Gold Dust.
Yeah. Then we've got a couple of the gigs in April and May, and then we go down to the Tap and Tumbler in
good place.
June, which I know you guys have played, so I'm really, really looking forward to
Nottingham.
that.
And we're going back
as
well.
That's with Rock the Foundry. All right.
When in June is that, Mike?
I want to say the 10th, so I'm going to say the 10th. I'm sure it's the 10th of June. And then
Rock. I thought that was Rock the Foundry in Nottingham.
Yeah, but it's the Tap and Tumbler is the place. Rock the Foundry's the promotion.
The event organizer. Yeah.
So all right, okay. So it's called the Tap and Tumbler.
Yeah, Rock Foundry own a whole bunch of venues around like Nottingham and sort of Three Cities Way.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that, and then we're going to be playing a newish venue in Carlisle, which is up in the northwest, which I'll have to put you guys in touch with, called the Source Collective, with a company called Rec Promotions. So yeah, we've got a few things, and then I think I'd like to take the summer off to do some recording if we can
Nice.
find somewhere with a good budget. And then, like I say, I'd like to come out with either a kind of a 6-track EP or just record another 4 tracks maybe and go for an album and
Decent.
actually kind of go for a bigger product. What about you guys? What are you going to do?
We've got our next gig, which is coming up on Sunday, which is in Rotherham. If that's local to you, come down and check us out.
It's about 2.5 hours away.
Same for
It
us.
sounded, as you were playing it sounded like you were quite local.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Actually, no, I think it's only about. I think Rotherham's only about 2 hours away. Actually, I'll tell you after we played on the 20th.
I mean, I live in Newcastle, so it's probably the best part of 2.5 for me. Maybe
Well, it'll probably be about 2 hours for me then.
Fair.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if I can get a babysitter, me and the missus will come down.
Yeah, that would be good to see.
Lovely. It'd be great to see you.
And then you're coming up here on the 27th of May.
Yeah, we're playing Blackpool on the 26th. Before that, we've got Cambridge, which is
25th, 24th.
Before that, we're playing Metal to the Masses.
Yep, going back to Northampton.
Northampton, yeah.
I'm in Millennium there, which is the other band I'm in. We're in Metal to the Masses. We're doing that on the 26th of May at Trillions.
Is that the final or the semis or
semis?
Can't remember. Did you get through semis?
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later in the year we're booking our first tour in August. So yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be interesting.
Nice. Well, if you need any support acts, you know where we are.
Keep you in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would highly recommend Trillions up here. Definitely get yourself a gig booked there. I think that's the heart of metal. I think you would agree as well, Liam.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah. I've probably played that venue more times than probably I've played any other when I think about it.
Well, except for the streets of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Good old jab at the busking.
Oh no! It's a very you do well, don't you?
Yeah. No,
You make a living out of it.
Yeah. No, I've been full time for a few years, so.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
I've had a great time.
Yeah, it's been wicked.
I've managed to do the whole thing without a beer, which is a first for me.
I didn't.
I normally get drunk, but yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, and
thank you.
This is our first one back, so
you're more than welcome.
If you've got any bands you want to throw this way, like I saw you advertising for us earlier.
Oh man, I've got loads.
We'd love to. I don't
think I've got a selfish bone in my body. I just want everybody to succeed, and I don't see why everybody can't succeed if we all just work together and network. And I'll throw you loads of bands your way.
Send them our way. We'd love to talk to them.
Yeah, and the same with any other bands that are watching. Just find me through Hedra, and if you ever want to gig up in the northeast in any way, shape, or form, you need any help up here, just come up. Just message me, message the band. I'll help you. I'll help you get up here.
Mate, you're an absolute
unless we help each other, we're all gonna just wither away and die. We just have to keep it strong, keep the underground going, and then eventually it will rise again. It will.
I think so. Yeah, we can become that.
That was dramatic.
We can become that gate.
Nice crescendo.
Yeah.
We'll all merge together.
You know me, Liam. If I don't have some kind of stirring words to say during the gig, or whatever, it's just not me. You just got to kind of. I'm so passionate about it.
You definitely got. I think you can say. I mean, despite the fact you're not the frontman of the band, you can talk to the audience. I've noticed.
Yeah, I've got the gob. I've got the gob. I've learned from the best. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Meant a lot.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime. All right. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll do this again with the rest of your band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime. Next week, you very next.
Yeah.
You never know.
Take 2.
No, but thank you very much, gents. And if I don't see you at Rotherham, I will see you on May the 27th.
Yeah,
Great.
looking forward to meeting you in person.
Indeed.
I'll buy you a drink.
You too, guys. We'll have a beer, and I'll be buying some. I'll be buying the actual physical EPs and a T-shirt.
We'll do the same.
Yep, I
Gotta
definitely
do
will.
it.
Thank you.
All right then.
Right, gents. Thank you.
That's it from
Bye-bye.
us.
Cheers now.
Thanks
Bye.
and good night.
Bye.